how did it get worse indeed? This is the question all gamers are asking now that Star Wars Outlaws is out and people are playing it. It is a bigger train wreck than previously anticipated. Honest reviewers are saying this is just such a disaster. And then there's IGN, of course. We will get into all of it and look at how IGN just like filters their reviews for these sorts of things for their access. It's very obvious at this point, and it's absolutely crazy. If you look at the way that the trailers and all that showed the character and how bad it is, and then you look at reality, it's almost like the gaslighting is there in a way that they were like, okay, gamers, you thought she was ugly before? Well, look at her now. I mean, now she looks like a full-on transgender man in this new clips. It's so absurd, and let's get into the news on Star Wars Outlaws and take a look at just how this game completely failed. My name is John Delarose, everybody, and I am a content creator, and I make a wonderful alternative to Star Wars. If you enjoy classic science fiction, action, adventure, and fun, grab my Hidden Emperor graphic novel here. This is we'll scratch that itch for you. It really will. We did everything right. We made the character beautiful. We made it a lot of fun. And we have a sweeping world, which is just a beautiful, beautiful thing. So check this out. It is in the description below. As you can see, we've already got $30,000. One more physical backer will get us to $31K, and I would love to get there today. So please hit that in the description below, and please hit the like and subscribe button. Join us here as we talk about all the important news around science fiction, gaming, pop culture, movies, books, and more. Oh my gosh, we cover everything here. It's a lot of fun. So this is absolutely crazy, but reviews are starting to come in, and you could see Eurogamer was one of the first to put out their bad review of this terrible game. 40%, 2 out of 5 stars. Death by 1,000 huts. Massive bravely peels away the many layers of Ubisoft open world isms in Star Wars Outlaws. It's a fatal error. This is a big one because Eurogamer is usually a shill company, and they're just like all the rest of it. And they actually did this. They really went out and torched this game. That is a testament to how bad this is that they were able to do so, because like I said, usually they don't do anything like this. So let's get into their review and see what they said about this game right here. If nothing else, I've had a wonderful time playing Sabak. The new variant, Kessel Sabak, invented for Star Wars Outlaws, is Moorish. A simple card game takes the elements of blackjack and poker, blends them into a snackable bit of video game gambling. So that's how he starts his review. That's the best part of the game. A micro game in it is it. That's all you can do. But this is it. In some senses, this is open world Ubisoft at its best, a bit of color off to the side, extraneous to the main story, and yet still woven into the world, unlockable cheats and side quests and bonuses you can acquire and deploy. It's a byproduct of the kind of development the developer-publisher has come to be synonymous with, albeit in derogatory terms. This is the Ubisoft formula stuff, but it's a reminder that the formula is driven by generosity as much as anything. Development as gift-giving, another system, chuck another mechanic onto the pile. Here's one more neat little thing to do. The problem with Star Wars Outlaw, however, isn't that it adheres closely to a developer approach akin to Hoarding, but that it does the opposite, stripping away years of accumulated video game clutter. Admirably, Outlaws does this quite aggressively, Sabak aside, but in doing so, it reveals an integral issue. Ubisoft open worlds are not only fun because of their formula, they are their formula. To strip it away isn't like peeling off some old wallpaper to reveal the original brickwork. It's like lifting up a carpet to find a whacking great hole in the ground. It's a great shame because there are some nice ideas. Outlaws is effectively a gateway open world game pitched more broadly to young adult crowds, a stepping stone from, say, Lego Star Wars to Respawn Jedi series. It's good. Star Wars is a family franchise. And that, at its core, that would be a good thing. We don't need everything to be extra mature. It leads to a kind of breeziness and levity, but also more manageable and, in theory, focused on an open world structure. At first is quite welcoming. After bursting free of the Ubisoft pre-credits funnel, you're given one of 4 miniature worlds to explore. So he shows off all the worlds and all this right here. You can look at it. Some of it, it looks very Star Warsy. You've seen these before. Except they don't. Major sections are hidden and locked off until you need to visit them as part of the main story, at which point this suddenly locked door will unlock, or a speed or restricted area will be unspeed or restrict itself. Suddenly, you're on a brand new path to the great creaking ruins of a star cruiser or vast underground facility. But much like much of Star Wars Outlaws, these places, which look fantastic as static images or preview beats that seem to promise vast areas of opportunity, they fall painfully flat in practice. So while, like I said, these stills can look pretty good in the distance and all that, once you actually get into it, the core of it breaks down very quickly. And so that's the problem. It just really doesn't work very well as an open world. The detail is just not there. We've seen it, we can see it right here. The art just was not paid attention to on a detailed level, and we know it. They were lazy about it at the end of the day, despite spending all this sort of crazy money all the way around on this. So as it goes through, this is a very detailed review. And when an alarm goes off or you just get bored, it's gunfight time. AI is, again, largely terrible here, and this is going to be the main problem with the game. And Grums showed this as well. He shows this these little takedowns that the character does in this, and it's just like, it's painful to watch because look at this one right here. This is probably the worst one yet, as she immediately grabs him like 20 feet away. What the hell? How did that happen? It's impossible physics-wise. And there's just a lot of little bugs in this sort of game where it's just ridiculous and doesn't work and doesn't make sense throughout the entire thing is what happens. And that's why the AI is being talked about as such a bad deal throughout this entire thing. Aside from the bluntness of the systems, the consequences in general range from non to mild existent. So there's no true bearing on the story from what I could tell. Instead, the bar nudging up or down simply results in better or worse deals at traders, some contracts temporarily opening or closing off, and the odd area toggling into or out of being restricted. So there's really no gameplay element where like your decisions matter either, which is really, really rough. That is the whole heart of these type of games. When you played Dragon Age or Fable, and you went down different paths, or Knights of the Old Republic's a great example of this kind of thing. One of the classics. Like you actually would change the story, and that is an integral part of a game like this. Not doing that is extremely lazy. And then they say KVS is an unchanging character, as I can remember, and that's really tough because it's really terrible when you have a character that doesn't develop. It's like, what's the point at this? So this is tough. 2 out of 10. Story's dead. AI's bad. What else do we got here? We got Mr. Matty says, I reviewed Star Wars Outlaws. I'm bummed to say it didn't jive with me as a massive Star Wars fan. Andromeda-level motion capture, constantly forced and frustrating stealth segments without the proper mechanics to support it. A huge missed opportunity with a reputation system that's extremely easy to manipulate. And Nyx is cute, and the world looks pretty solid. So the world does pretty good, and Nyx is the little cat thing that she's carrying around as the wine ant, if you didn't realize, as the character right there. But never fear, my friends. Never fear. Even though everybody's hating this game, even though it's failing spectacularly, IGN will give you an okay review. Red Dead Rebellion. And so that's been the media narrative from day one, is to compare this game to Red Dead Redemption in space. And it really just didn't work out on that kind of level whatsoever. So IGN, unlike everybody else out there, is just giving it a completely shill review. Kay is accompanied by her adorable pint-sized pet Nyx, who seemingly has 6 figures sprouting out of its furry little head and is therefore extremely good at pinching goods himself. After their opening vault job goes pear-shaped, a playful pair are forced to crash land on their stolen ship, the Trailblazer, into the sands of the beautiful yet danger-filled African savanna-style planet of Toshara. What follows is 20-hour sting of reckless rescue missions and shady underworld dealings. So you see, this is a review that actually doesn't tell you much about whether the game is good, whether the mechanics work, whether the storyline actually pays off. You could see it's written in a way that's very politically done in order to just tell their players, it's fine. Everything's going to be completely fine. And you look at it towards the end of this, and they give it a 7. It's good. Now, if you also go back to other IGN games reviews that are of AAA games that have just completely failed, they're always a 7. IGN's rating scale seems to be 7 out of 10 to 10 out of 10. There seems to be no way to drop below that if you're a big studio, and that's because of the access right there. So when they're going, this is a 7, you know this is actually a 4 in reality, and that this game has failed spectacularly. All right, leave a comment down below with what you think about this. Hit the like and subscribe button. Make sure to check out my Hidden Emperor graphic novel. You'll be thrilled by this if you're a real Star Wars fan. It's in the description below. Thank you for backing.